So it has been some time since. Let's figure this out. All right, it's been some time since I've recorded, so I'm just gonna roll one off. And this is pretty much my plan for October. To give a recap, so I've been on this team. It's a biz up in the B2C space, more of an ROI based offer, and we kind of help usually a bit of an older demographic. And so the team that I'm on, I'm currently on the front end closing team. It's like a full stack outbound role, and I've been on this team now for just over 90 days, I would say. I've been at the company for well over 6 months. I was started out actually as an inbound set on the back end. And this month's goal is these three things. So, number one, to end up on the top of the leaderboard in terms of conversions. Actually, in the month of August, that was the case, but I wasn't on the top for actual cash collected. So, I do also want to ensure for conversions, and I should have added full cash as well. Number two, it's going to be at least holding a 20% conversion rate. Ever since May of this year, we've kind of changed the way we do tracking. And the reps who have been on the team since May, which is like 4 or 5 months now, no one has ever hit an entire month of 20% conversion. And then the last thing is at least hit 100K cash just purely through outbound efforts. So those are going to be the kind of the three pillars that I really want to actually hit this month, and the way I'm going to do that. So to give a quick recap, actually, before I recap last month's performance, the deficit, what things I'm planning to change so that I can kind of make up the deficit, I want to explain the logic behind these three. So the first one is I guess actually these two have never been done before, or at least in the past 4 months this hasn't been done. And this one I just kind of want to be on the top. But the reason why these two, given how they've never been done, or the last time they were done ages ago, I really want to start now kind of positioning myself as a very pretty much like the no-brainer choice to get promoted for the high ticket closer on the back end. So last month I had moved across the world, and so that took quite a bit of time. That was actually end of August. And then September I was trying to get all my routines in place. Now with October, all my kind of regiments and routines are all dialed in. I want to make sure that I can just solely focus on work. And so that's what I plan on doing, which explains these two things. Because my entire thinking, and from what I've seen other reps do who have been promoted from this role to the role that I'm talking about, they were not only absolute crushing. So in terms of when crushing means like absolute cash as well as efficiency was far greater than team average, but they also held that consistently. So this refers to efficiency, this refers to absolute cash, and then if I can do this 1 month, I'm going to rinse and repeat. So what did September look like? So this was September. There are three of us. Now we actually have an extra rep on the team this month, but because I was kind of like out and about and I was kind of doing a different process in the sales process as well, I overall had less leads assigned. In terms of efficiency, I was second, but closer to kind of last, to be honest. Cash was not the greatest either, so my total cash was 55K, top rep 100, and then 73. So that was last month. Now if we kind of look, we got to increase efficiency by pretty much double, and we got to increase cash. And I stand to be corrected. It looks like actually last month a rep did break the 100K, but at 14%. So if at 20%, this would be much, much higher, which is where I want it to be. So what I need to do, well, when I kind of look at the differences, number one, this month, because I'm a lot more regimented, my routines are a lot more predictable. Outside work, I've got very little going on, which makes kind of trying to forecast how much I can work and the best time to work very, very easy. Unlike last month where I was trying to build all my routines. So now in terms of my overall amount of work, just output is going to increase. And I do quantify that. I kind of use, so Hormozy obviously talks about, tracking your time. So I kind of use this. I don't know if that's even focusing, to be honest. But yeah, I have three trackers. So I track on my iPad, I track on my Mac, like two different trackers. And they're all like different trackers kind of running. One tracker is just tracking my overall time that I've sat at my desk, one tracker, which is usually the one on my iPad, is just tracking work time. And then my third tracker is actually tracking revenue generating activity. So I do have like quantifiable measures of saying like, am I actually working more, or is it just like the facade? Am I just saying shit in my head? So that's the first thing. Now the second thing, because things are a lot more predictable and I have a better understanding after 90 days being on this team, which times, not only during the day but during the week, is going to be the most leverageable in terms of conversions. That's another thing as well. So I'm going to be focusing, and that's usually actually the weekends where I'm really going to be focusing on working during those times to be able to increase efficiency. Those are two things combined. Now the last thing, actually, kind of what I've realized with my offer, is the main objection that I'm keep getting, I would say 80-90% of the time, is logistical money. And part of the reason why is because we're outbounding leads who have registered for a webinar. A lot of times when we dial these leads, some of them are already being pitched. And naturally, if they haven't bought after being pitched, it usually just comes down to money. And so I'm kind of noticing that majority of my objections are there. Rather than trying to, and I think there would be merit to obviously refine my objection handling, my money waterfall process, and have a more kind of better way of getting people to logistically get the money and keeping them warm and engaged. I think the lot better strategy is just going to be speed to lead and being on top of leads. And pretty much whenever another rep drops the ball, picking up on them. The way I want to shift my focus over there is I actually hired a VA, my first hire. Actually, last year I did have a VA as well, but like this is my actual proper first hire, and he's helping out with a ton of stuff, not just the basics of admin, but more importantly, he's actually going to do a lot of hunting for me as well. So I might even talk about like comp structure and how I'm going to be comping my VA once I kind of figure that out. So that's going to be a huge part of being able to pick up any drop balls from other reps. And that's the main thing that I plan on utilizing to really get to those goals. Right now, between the three of us, so the fourth rep just joined yesterday, but amongst the three of us, we conservatively get 15 leads each assigned a day. So which now is going to turn out to be around 12 each a day amongst four, which is like 84 leads a week. At a 20% conversion at least, that's going to be 17 units a week, which is 68 units for the month. By the way, I'm on 9 right now, and today is the 6th. I think we have 80 leads assigned for me at least. So I should be on 16. So I'm already 9, 16. I'm already 7 units behind. So I need to kind of speed up the ball. The VA actually started today as well, so he's really going to come in handy. That's going to equal to around 135K in revenue. With my 85% upfront cash collected, that's 115. If I can get this higher through higher conversions, that would be great, but that's pretty much the goal. So I'm just going to keep every week just updating what things have worked, what things haven't, and go from there.